As Tamara shaved Raphael's beard, she noticed the strong angles of his face, the way his dark eyes glinted under the morning light. She couldn't help but admire his pointed nose, chiseled jawline, and beautiful smooth skin. In that moment, she saw more than just the grumpy man who'd made her job a challenge. She saw a man who'd endured tremendous loss of love. Raphael noticed Tamara seemed to be in a dreamland. He asked, "Is everything okay, Ms. Tamara?" Lost in thought, she murmured, "You're a very handsome man, Mr. Raphael." Raphael was startled. Tamara's comment was unexpected. He didn't know what to say. He hadn't heard a compliment in years, and the words hit him harder than he expected. For a split second, he felt something flutter in his chest. His heart was racing. He wondered why Tamara, a simple girl from the village, had such an impact on him. "Get a grip, Raphael," he told himself. He reminded himself how his friends had left him after the accident, and how hard it was to survive the heartbreak. He can't afford to trust any girl, no matter how innocent they appear. Quickly recovering, "I'm sure you say that to all the patients," Raphael said sarcastically, though his heart beat a little faster. Raphael hadn't smiled in 2 years, and yet, for the first time since the accident, he smiled. Raphael and Tamara went out for a picnic. It was beautiful scenery. "I'd give anything to walk again," he murmured, his voice trailing off as his gaze fixed on the horizon. Tamara looked at him, her heart aching for the man he'd been, and the man he was now. "You know," she said softly, "you're still that person, Mr. Raphael. The world may have changed, but you haven't changed at all." They sat together in silence, watching the sun set below the trees, casting a warm glow across the park. It was beautiful to watch. When they got home, the first thing Raphael said was, "I had a beautiful day today." He was looking forward to future events. The day at the park marked the beginning of a series of exciting, joyful weekends that brought a new light into Raphael's life. Over the next 5 months, Ada packed every weekend with outings and activities. Movies, concerts, art galleries, elegant dinners, stand-up comedy, casino nights, overnight trips, and picnics by the river. Raphael found himself laughing and relaxing with Tamara in ways he hadn't since his accident, and matching her sense of humor without even trying. She had become his confidant and his closest friend. Raphael increased his physiotherapy sessions with his doctor. He wanted to be better for Tamara's sake. Over time, Raphael started walking, but asked the doctor to keep it private. The therapist estimated that by the end of 6 months, he might even be able to run again, but Raphael wanted to keep that a secret as a test for Tamara. One evening, while they were sitting together after dinner, Raphael finally worked up the courage to ask a question that had weighed heavily on his mind. He took a deep breath, rolled his wheelchair closer to her, and looked at her with a solemn intensity. "Tamara," he began softly, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a small velvet box. "I know this might come as a surprise, but will you marry me?" Tamara's eyes widened in shock and her hand flew to her mouth. She had cared for him, laughed with him, and had long since developed feelings for him, but she hadn't expected this. Tears welled up in her eyes, and for a moment Raphael worried that she might be overwhelmed with sadness at his proposal. "Raphael," she whispered, her voice trembling, I don't deserve you. You're so kind, so incredible, and I'm just a village girl. I don't belong in your world. And people might judge you for being with someone like me." Raphael took her hand, his gaze steady and warm. "Tamara, you're the only person who saw me when I was at my lowest, who stayed and cared without asking for anything. You loved me, even in this chair. And that's more valuable than anything in the world. I don't care what anyone else thinks, Tamara. I only care what you think. But," he hesitated, "are you truly okay with marrying a man in a wheelchair?" Tamara's face softened, wiping a tear from her cheek. "Raphael, these past months with you have been the happiest of my life. You made me feel seen and cared for in a way I never thought possible. And if you're worried about the chair, I'm not marrying a wheelchair. I'm marrying you. Raffle let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding, a smile breaking across his face. The next few weeks were filled with planning, laughter, and dreams about their future together. Then, just days before their 6-month mark, Raffle had a request for Tamara that surprised her. Will you come with me to my ex-best friend's engagement party? He asked, a mischievous glint in his eye. Tamara blinked in surprise. You mean Emma, your friend, the one who was very close to you before the accident. Are you sure that's a good idea? Tamara was shocked that Raffle wanted her to attend that high-end party. On the day of the party, Emma approached Raffle when Tamara had gone to get some drinks. Raffle immediately stood up and walked towards them. Both Emma and Tamara froze in shock. They both didn't know that Raffle could walk again. Emma gasped. You can walk? Raffle, why didn't you tell me? We could have had a different future. I love you. We could still be together. So, you're here with her? She asked, a hint of disbelief in her voice. Yes, Raffle said calmly, his tone polite but distant. That's my fiancé. Emma's face flickered, her eyes widening. Your fiancé? Raffle, if I had known you'd be walking again, she stammered, reaching toward him. Maybe things could have been different. Just then, Tamara tried to move away to allow the two to talk. Without missing a beat, Raphael slowly took a step toward Tamara and wrapped his arm around her, causing Emma to gasp in shock. Oh, didn't I mention it? I can walk again. But Emma, that's beside the point. I'm with Tamara because she loved me when I couldn't stand, when I had nothing to offer but myself. You left me when I needed you the most. He looked lovingly at Tamara, tightening his grip around her waist. That's the kind of love I'd never trade, not for anything. Holding Tamara's hand, he said, Shall we, my love? I believe my mother's waiting. The following year, Raphael started working with his father, finding a new purpose as CEO of one of their firms, and he and Tamara moved into their own home. They got married and welcomed a baby boy. Raphael had learned the greatest lesson life could offer. True love is about who stands by you at your lowest, who sees you beyond what you can do or what you have. It's about finding someone who brings out the best in you and believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. True love is not based on appearances, wealth, or status, but on an unyielding commitment to be there for one another through every high and low. Let us know where you are watching from and hit the subscribe button for more stories.